Hello, welcome to Geeks Unleashed. This is episode 110. I'm Mark.
I'm Jasmin.
Podcast mission statement. As of episode 100, each week we'll be talking about current viewing, reading, or playing our geeky habits, whilst also mixing in a review of comic book movies and TV shows.
Yes. And before we really get started, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. We appreciate that. We would also very much like it if you would leave us a 5-star review. Well, no, not on YouTube. On YouTube, you have to subscribe. Subscribe to our channel. That'd be great. Like this video. That'd be awesome too. If you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, then we would appreciate a 5-star review, either on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, or Spotify.
What I would say is, I think Spotify, you can't leave us a review.
Really?
Yeah. So Podchaser, by the way, you just for information, you don't have to have the app. You can just literally go to the Podchaser website, look up Geeks Unleashed and leave a review there. Apple Podcasts, I don't know. I think you probably need an Apple account, but
yes, you do have to have an Apple account.
So, but for those people that don't have Apple accounts and use Spotify, you could just go to Podchaser and leave us a review, and would appreciate that. So, we did get a review dropped the other day from someone we know, Tacky616. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyway, and lastly, just give us your money. Ko-fi is there.
We enjoy money a lot.
A dollar, a pound, whatever you can give would be appreciated.
Yeah, preferably US dollars, just because right now we're gaining on Mark. We're so close. We're so close to the pound.
I hope that's not true. I think we just need some confidence to be restored in the current climate. So unfortunately, I think it's not going to happen.
I was going to say, I'm not so sure that's going to be happening anytime soon, sir.
I don't like to talk about politics, but
it comes up occasionally.
I don't think Rishi's doing it for people right now. So, and I don't think was it Liz didn't do it for anyone. Like, I think Boris was liked. I mean, he was disliked too, but he was liked more than the last two, I think. So,
I don't know. People seem to be enjoying Harry's book, Spare.
Who's enjoying that? Like
Americans.
I don't even know anyone that's read it. Like,
oh my gosh, I know quite a few people that are reading it right now. I haven't gotten it. I'm thinking about getting it though.
Oh no, don't do it. Don't give it to Meghan and Harry. Honestly, all I would say is you lot can keep them now. So.
That's fine. I'm fine with keeping them. We can keep them here. They're great.
They're miserable gits. Just stop moaning. Obviously, just making yourself into a victim, Harry. No one likes a victim. So, I mean, look, people are victims. Being nice now, but no one likes it when you just go on and on and on about it.
Yeah, well, nobody likes being a spare either. So he should be allowed to say his piece.
Yeah, no. I just hope he follows up with a sequel that's more positive.
Give it time. It'll pop up on Netflix, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he should call the next one Driver or something, or First Place or something, and how he's turned his life around and how he's happy now, and I don't know.
Nobody likes to read happy stories, Mark.
Happy
stories don't sell.
Oh, okay, a redemption story then.
People love drama and misery.
Do you know what he should do? He should join the next season of the Kardashians.
That would be fun.
Honestly,
I'd watch that.
I would watch that. If him and Meghan join the Kardashians, honestly, I'll be all over that.
I totally watch that.
I don't even like those shows. I watch them just because I'm like, what the F are these people like? The Kardashians just don't even live in the real world. They're just they're just that wealthy that they just don't get. And I would love to see Harry and Meghan on that. Meghan would fit right in.
Hey, she was a struggling actress for a while, man. She ain't got no Kardashian money.
No, now she has.
No,
well,
not even close.
Not Kardashian money, but she has got wealth now.
Well, I mean, I'd say she's rich. I don't know. Wealthy. I don't know.
Harry's probably got more money than her, though.
Well, of course, he's a royal.
Yeah.
They might be fighting with the family, but he's still a royal. He got plenty money.
Do you know the first time I ever saw Meghan in anything was in 90210?
Oh, I don't remember. I only
No.
remember her from Suits.
No. She was only in one scene. Oh, she was going down on someone in the
Oh
car.
wow. Wow, and that's what you remember.
Well, I don't remember. I don't. When I see her, I don't think, "Oh my god!" Like that's. But I think I rewatched it a couple of years ago. I was like, "Oh my god, that's Megan." I was like, and I didn't obviously at the time. I completely dismissed it because it's like a 2-second scene. But then I was like watching it again or something, the pilot, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't believe that's her." I wonder if they showed the Queen this. Like,
I mean, I'm sure. Well, that's probably why they made her stop acting. So
well, yeah, scenes like that wouldn't go down well. But anyway,
yeah.
right, okay. Good week and all that.
Same.
I know it's just busy, like no life.
Same. Work is work. What can you say?
It's cold. It's busy. Since Christmas, I haven't really done anything socially. Like, it's just been busy with work. So
Yeah.
I mean, we've done bits, but anyway, let's talk about the news. It's quite a good thing that happened this week.
Yes.
So something that's got us really piped was the Scream 6 trailer. So we had the teaser a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then they dropped the main full, I think it's like 2.5-minute trailer.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, although they showed a lot, there's no real context still behind any of it.
No. It's interesting though that we're in New York now, though. I'd say.
No, I like that. Wasn't the Scream 2 set at a university in New York or something?
Oh, was it I didn't know where the university was, but it was not in their hometown. Yeah.
Yeah. Was it? Oh, I can't remember now.
And then we had LA in Scream 3.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm wondering, if the next one's like LA or something like that. I wonder
if they're gonna go back to LA.
Well, no, I just wonder if they're kind of following the sort of the settings of the first three. So
okay.
I rewatched after the trailer. I rewatched Scream 5, and I was like, I've watched that trailer 3 times. So anyway,
so good.
Early thoughts on it. I don't know if it's been stated this already, but it feels like it's set over one night.
Really?
That's kind of how it looked to me.
Okay, I can believe it. A Halloween night apparently, because there's a whole bunch of people in costume.
Yeah, so that's what I wonder, if it's just one night. So it makes you wonder why they're not holding this out for October if it's set over Halloween.
I think because all the other ones came out early in the year. Yeah. It's coming out in March. It should have come out in February. It'd be a perfect like Valentine movie.
Well, maybe. Anyway, so I love the scene in the shop where he gets a hold of the shotgun. That's just awesome. I mean, I don't want him having a shotgun for the whole film.
Yeah.
But I thought that was pretty cool that he didn't just get rid of that, leave it on the floor. He was like, "Nah, I'm taking that." So,
I'm very interested to see who this Ghostface is, because based on like the few bits of dialogue that we've got in the trailer, he seems, or she, seems very like different, like more aggressive. I don't know. I'm really excited about this Scream 6.
So they showed a scene as well where he had like his own version of a bat cave. Like it was like a Scream cave. There was a lot of dedication.
Scream cave.
So I guess it could go one or two ways. It's someone we already know, or it's a massive fan, which I guess is what we had in the last film, was two fans of the Stab franchise. So I don't know.
It seems like it's someone older than a kid, though. I think that was the trouble with the last couple, was like the killer was too young. Yeah,
so do you know, when I rewatched Scream 5, because now I know obviously who the killers were, the scene where Dewey gets killed off was clearly the young girl, and there's no way, because there's a scene where like she like would have had to lifted him up in the air, and I was just like, now I know it's the girl. It's not believable, because I think the boyfriend had got in the lift. So the boyfriend potentially could have killed Dewey, but now we know that he was in the lift. So I'm like, I just don't believe that it was her, which unfortunately really ruins that murder scene. At the time, that was just really shocking. And at the end, when Dewey falls on the floor, I think Ghostface is like, it was an honor. I was like, that was a pretty cool scene on its own, but when you look back and you know it's the girl, it's like, it's a bit crap. Yeah,
this is a bit of it's like oomph when you rewatch it.
Yeah, I still love Scream 5. I think it's really well done. It's very much like The Force Awakens. It was, and they said it themselves. It was like I don't know what they used the terminology of, I don't know, they said something like a sequel.
It's a sequel reboot, a requel.
Yeah, requel. That was it. Yeah,
A
and that's
requel.
basically what it is. It's basically like Force Awakens, and you know, they did basically what the new Star Wars did.
Mhm.
So, which is what I think Scream 4 struggled with, was
Yeah.
like, sorry, but basically to come back to this trailer, I think I don't know. My thoughts are that it's not one of their crowd, because they seem to just show the crowd she was in being just a cast from the last Scream movie that survived.
Mhm.
So,
Well, there's one new girl.
oh, okay, I can't remember that, but yeah, but then that'd be too obvious. Like, you couldn't
Yeah.
just introduce one new
And
person.
there's one old person that comes back that you've been talking about forever.
Oh yeah, Hayden. Yeah, like
Mark's girl Kirby is back, y'all.
that's amazing to me. Like, so it's just so good that they actually addressed the fact that Kirby didn't die, and Kirby was the best thing about Scream 4. I honestly, I'll be pissed if they kill Kirby off.
I think Gail's gonna get it this time.
See, I don't think they should kill Gale off, because if Nev Campbell's done, then...
Well, but I think they're gonna have to kill Gale off in order to get Nev to come back for the next one, because I think they're gonna pay Nev what she wants if she's not in this one already.
Oh yeah. I don't want them to kill Gale off. It's not time. It's not time to say goodbye to Gale.
Oh, Mark is having some separation anxiety issues with Gale Weathers.
Well, no, I mean, look, I accepted Dewey. I accepted it. He'd already had 2 fake outs already.
Yeah.
So there was
third time's
no
a charm, man. Dewey ain't making it past that third fake death.
So, and I know Gale has had some real close near misses as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like, this franchise is like one of my favorite all-time franchises. I just don't think I'm ready to say goodbye to Gale yet.
We'll have to wait and see.
I don't know. I started to think, like, okay, so Nev's been very vocal that she's not in it, but they do this a lot. Andrew Garfield did it. Tobey Maguire did it. I don't know. It could be a fake out.
It could be. It could. Maybe Nev is Ghostface.
Do you know what? I've considered this. So I think if they were to make her Ghostface, they would save that for the next film.
For the final version.
Because I feel like the next film will be the end of a new trilogy, and then I think they'll rest Scream for a while, not forever, but for a while. But yeah, I think if they were going to make Nev Ghostface, that would be brilliant to have her be the final Ghostface. So I have wondered whether they might bring Stu back, which is...
They could.
This is something, again, like, if Kirby survives, everybody's theory was that Stu survived. A lot of people do believe that Stu...
He could have... the TV fell on his face, but, like, he didn't get shot in the head like Billy.
No.
You know, like, Billy is dead. Like, Billy got shot in the head. Billy is dead. We know Billy is dead.
Well, everybody other than Stu has been shot in the head.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
And I also thought, like, how they said in the last film, there's always 2 killers. That's not true. In the third film, there's only 1 killer. So if it was Stu, it could still be 2 killers. It could. But
there was only 1.
In the third film, yeah, it was her brother.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I don't know. Look, we could spitball. I don't know, but the trailer was amazing. I'm so pumped for it now.
Yes, I think Scream really understands its audience. They had a few bumps in the road, but I think Scream is one of those franchises that knows where its bread and butter is coming from, and so they do a really good job of catering to their people. So I have every confidence that this movie is going to be great. I think it's going to be on par, if not better, than the 5th one. So I'm ready. I think 4 was a slight misstep, but 4 was like a stumble. It wasn't like a totally let's just throw the whole damn thing out the window.
It was a cool twist about the cousin. I didn't see the cousin thing coming. Because I thought, it was clever what they did. I felt they were building the cousin up to be the new Nev Campbell. And that was the whole time you just didn't see that coming. So it was a good twist. But also the 4th one introduced us to Kirby, who was amazing in the 4th film. So no doubt you will hear us talk about Scream because we both love Scream.
Yes, we do. We're big Scream fans here.
I was going to say, like, one last thing. We won't talk about this in any detail. They dropped an Invincible trailer with a stupid
Teaser. It's a teaser.
I mean, it's stupid. They just said it'd be back end of 2023.
Yeah, late 2023 is.
They basically gave us like a 2-minute trailer for that. May as well just put up a poster saying back late 2023. It was funny teaser. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed them eating burgers and like but don't really need to say much more about it.
It's a teaser. There's no information. It's just funny to watch, and they give you no dates. They ask for dates, but we get no dates. We get late 2023 is what we get.
So anyway, that's the end of our news. I mean, there's actually other stuff I saw which was pretty cool, but anyway, catching up and stuff. We've been up to geek-wise this week.
Nothing. Watching K-dramas. Back on my K-drama kick. But I took it like a step further this week. I actually made Korean street food. So that was a lot of fun. I went to a Korean grocery store, picked up some stuff, and I made sotok, which I was very happy with the way that it turned out. And it's basically like rice cakes and sausages on a skewer, and then they're grilled, and then they're like glazed with this gochujang sauce. It's very delicious. You see it in just about every K-drama. Anyone else out there who watches K-dramas, I'm sure you've seen it. So I made some on my stovetop. I did not do skewers, but it was delicious. And I still have 2.5 pounds of rice cakes in my freezer. So I have a feeling I'm going to be making that again sometime soon.
I was going to say, I've seen some of the food you've been sharing. It looks amazing.
Thanks.
When you come over, you can make me some.
Okay, well, if we'll see what I can find in the British grocery stores, Mark.
I mean, we don't just sell fish and chips. Like,
I bet that's the one thing I want to try. When I come to London, I want to try fish and chips, and then I want to have like Indian food the rest of the time.
I had an Indian earlier, but we made that here, so. Not really.
I mean, I would do high tea as well. I would like to try a high tea somewhere.
What at the Ritz?
Well, I did have high tea at the Ritz when I was in Hong Kong. It was fabulous. It was up on the 86th freaking floor. It was great.
You can have a cup of tea here if you want. I'll make you one.
Okay, we'll call it high tea. We'll have some biscuits or something and call it high tea. That's fine. We can make that work.
Well, I can put a few cushions underneath you and you can be high.
Thank you. Thanks.
Anyway, okay, so I carried on watching Piece of Her. I halfway through episode 7. I'll be honest with you, the first episode I said was good. Felt it's gone downhill throughout.
Yikes. That's a bummer. You were so excited last week.
Gonna finish it off because I want to know what the mystery is all. I hate mystery things if I don't complete. So I've got to know the answer, but yeah, it's sort of just I went after really it sort of just started to go downhill from episode 2, and it made me realize actually what would have been better was a much either tighter miniseries or probably a 2-hour movie. So yeah. Anyway, next week I'll let you know what my final thoughts were.
Okay.
Right. So however, I've still been doing the gaming. Mario Odyssey. Yep. I've completed the main boss. So Brett Bowser is defeated. So in Mario Odyssey, you've got this cool thing with this cap that he can fling at other characters and take over them. So he could take over any character from the little gauntlet thingies, whatever they're called.
The Goombas? Goombas?
Yeah, Goombas, yeah. So he can take over like anything, pretty much. He can take over a rock, he can take over a zip and unzip something. Like, it's all very, obviously, because it's sort of more of a child's game.
Yeah. We should review Super Mario Brothers before the new Mario comes out.
Oh, yeah, we said about doing that. And anyway, so at the end, after you defeat Cooper, you take over after you defeat him. So you take over his body, and that's pretty cool. You like running through the moon, bashing rocks and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. Anyway, after you defeat him, there's still loads of the game left to do. You get this 3 additional kingdoms open up.
Okay.
Not straight away. So I forgot the name of it. I think it's the Mushroom Kingdom that opens up first, and that's kind of quite a nice kingdom where the princess's castle's there, and there's like lots of nice things to do, etc. But anyway, if you get 250 additional moons on top of the ones you've had to get as you've been going along, strangely enough, I had been doing a lot of extra as I went, so I had like 230 already. So what I've been doing today is actually went and got like 20 extra moons. That opens up another part of the moon called the dark side of the moon. And then I read online, if you get another 250, it opens up something on the moon called the darker side of the moon.
Are there transformers there on the dark side of the moon?
No, but you can basically fight a load of bosses that you've previously fought. And
okay.
So yeah, I've opened up the dark side of the moon not long before recording, so I haven't done them yet. But I think I've played a lot of this over the last.
I mean, it seems like you're having fun with it.
4 weeks. No, I'm thinking about putting it down now because I've done the main boss. No, I go back to it because I've done the main boss now. Now the rest of it's kind of just niceties, and that can be done whenever I've got half an hour to kill now. So I'd rather move on to another game now. So I don't mind doing the completionist bit, but I don't know. I've never been one of those who needs to get every single coin or whatever. I would much rather. Are you one of those?
That is funny coming from the guy who has to finish a TV show even if you don't like it.
No, I know, but like with games, sometimes I get annoyed if I can't find that.
That one thing.
That one thing, and so
I've only ever completed every single trophy for one game.
Mass Effect.
I was gonna say it. I will give you one guess what that one game is. So, but it took me forever because like some of the trophies are you have to defeat the entire game on the insanity level without ever changing the difficulty level the whole time that you play the game. So that one took me a while to get. That was the last one that I needed, and I finally got that one a couple of years ago. But yeah, the first Mass Effect is the first game I've ever gotten every single. Well, it's not trophies. I don't play it on PlayStation. It's achievements. I've gotten every single Xbox achievement for Mass Effect.
I think with other games, I've not really been so bothered about every achievement, but this is actually one where I don't know, the achievements are a little bit, I would say, more fun. So other achievements like you're talking about, like the Mass Effect ones, they would annoy me after a while. Like if I was getting killed 18 times, like trying to do one achievement, I'd get annoyed. A lot of these achievements aren't that difficult. They are difficult. You know, sometimes it could take you 18 times on one. And then on another, or just literally, I'll just do it straight away. So
you know what's really annoying? The most annoying, like achievement trophy wise, like is the second Uncharted game. I finished the second Uncharted game, and when I went to go look at my trophy count, it was like, you've completed 21% of the game. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, I've literally gone to the very end of this game, beat the whole game, and you're telling me that I've only completed 21% of the game. Like, oh, it made me so mad. It made me so mad. But it's all those stupid, like, hell no. It's like all these, like, did you get all of these special coins? And did you get all of these special maps? And did you get all of these special things? And I'm just like, no.
Oh yeah, no, the Uncharted, I haven't done them. Yeah, I got a bit annoyed with that when I completed the main game, and I was like, yeah, like you say, 21% of the game. I'm like, I'm not going back.
Yeah, it was so frustrating. If it had been like 80%, maybe, but like to have done all that work to finish the game and then it's like 21%, I was like, nah, you can keep that other 80%. That's crap.
I think me and you have said before, out of all of the Uncharted games, out of all 5 of them, the only one I've replayed, not in order, just sometimes I've picked random levels, was Uncharted 4, because Uncharted 4 was the best of all of them.
Oh yeah. So, well, I mean, it's also the most updated. Like, it's hard to go back and play some of those older graphic games now.
The last thing I've done as well, so I'm not going to talk about it now. I watched the pilot episode for The Last of Us.
But you did do an Instagram live that you guys can go check out, him and Steph from Missing Link.
So our fellow Bad Batch friend, we did an Instagram live last Wednesday. We're going to do another one, and you can go and check it. It's there. But no, I won't share my thoughts on it now. But I enjoyed it. Let's just say that. So
I've heard
anyway.
great things. It is on my list, but I am a binger, so I am waiting until they are all done.
Oh, you should wait.
No, but see, like if I don't start it, then I don't have the anticipation. So I'm just gonna wait.
Anyway, right, okay. So before we talk about the actual movie, well, we are going to start talking about the movie of Spawn, but just going to do some trivia. So this isn't a Q&A like we did last week.
Yeah, because last week I was really bad. Sorry, guys.
So the Spawn movie that came out in 1997. I've just got some random facts here. So Martin Sheen, apparently, he did this film because he always wanted to be in a comic book movie. Okay.
I bet he was like, but why did it have to be this one? Why didn't they call me for Mortal Kombat?
Anyway, so the character of Jessica Priest, who was played by Linda Clark, was created for this film because in the comic books, Al's killer is a character called Chapel. The character of Chapel is actually owned by Rob Liefeld, and they were not. Obviously, they didn't use that character. I assume they would have had to have paid Rob some
behind
money
the scenes disputes. Don't you love it?
Well, I assume they would have had to pay him some money, or
Yeah.
maybe he would have wanted some sort of say in the movie, and they probably were like, no, we don't want that.
Yeah.
And Rob Liefeld is quite an opinionated guy, so I assume that they probably just didn't want that. So anyway, they later wrote the character of Jessica Priest into the comics, who then also became the second She-Spawn. So yeah, I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
This section here of what could have been. By the way, I've taken this info from a website called TV Tropes. So if anybody's got it wrong, it was them.
Don't blame us in the comments, guys.
All right. Okay. So what could have been? Apparently, I'm mainly interested in who potentially could have played Al. So Al Simmons. There's loads of people that were considered for the role of Al Simmons, aka Spawn. LL Cool J.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg.
That would have been awful, but okay. Okay.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Ooh, that would have been a good one.
Samuel Jackson.
I
mean, would have made it funny.
Yeah, but no.
Ving Rhymes.
Ooh, he would have been good.
This next one's made me question when he died, but Tupac Shakur. I don't remember what year he died.
That would have been. I mean, okay.
So Will Smith. That would have been awful.
Yeah.
Back then, anyway, Will Smith was. Strangely enough, this was the year Men in Black came out, so
he was busy.
Wesley Snipes.
I mean, but he was already Blade.
Yeah.
Or was Blade 99?
I don't know if it was around that time. It probably was in development at least. So
yeah.
Tony Todd. I don't know.
Oh, Candyman.
Oh, that guy. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Denzel Washington.
No.
Maybe like older Spawn.
I love Denzel, but no. Like, please don't put Denzel in the Spawn costume. Come on, y'all.
I think out of all of those, I think Cuba would have been a good choice.
Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. probably would have been the best option there.
I think
Ving Rhames, if they would have done an older Spawn, Ving Rhames would have been great.
So some other options here. Apparently, Richard Harris was originally going to play Coglistrio, or how do you say that?
Oh, that was the Coglistio. He was the Crusader guy.
Oh yeah. Right. Okay. So then Edward Norton was originally going to play Terry Fitzpatrick, but dropped out to work on Rounders. So
that was a better choice, Ed. Good job.
Probably a good choice, Ed. Yeah. Although if Ed had been in this, he might have actually said no, we shouldn't do that. Okay, so is anything here worth shouting out? Oh yeah, I saw this one here about stunts. So there was no stunt double. Michael J. White was actually set on fire in one scene.
No, couldn't be me. It could not be. I'd be like, no. Y'all got to get that stunt double out here. Like, I will jump off the building. I will do the thing, but you ain't setting me on fire. I'm sorry.
Also, Michael J. White didn't like this film.
Well, yeah, no shit. And they didn't let him use his martial arts skills as much as I would have hoped.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, let's just talk about the film now.
All right. Spawn, 1997. That was a good year for movies. We're going to get to that in a minute. But it's based on Spawn from Image Comics and Todd McFarlane. It is written by Alan B. McElroy and Mark A. Dippy. It was directed by Mark A. Dippy. Deep. Who knows? So it stars John Leguizamo. Yeah, well, he would know. My apologies. He does know. We don't know, clearly. So it stars John Leguizamo, Michael J. White, Martin Sheen, Teresa Randall, Thomas Tuckle Williamson, D.B. Sweeney, and Melinda Clark. Release date right before school starts, August 1st, 1997. Runtime, 96 minutes. Budget. Oh, 90s. Oh, the 90s. I love 90s budgets. $40 to $45 million was the budget. It made $87.9 million, and they called it a flop. It doubled its money, but that wasn't good enough. Wasn't good enough for New Line Cinema. By the way, I interned at New Line Cinema. Worked on Snakes on a Plane. Fun times.
August 97, I left school when I was 16. So our school starts in September.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, go on, carry on.
Oh, the summary. We have shortened our summaries. This summary is short, sweet, to the point here. This film depicts the origin story of the titular character who was murdered. A U.S. Marine, highly decorated, was murdered and then resurrected to become a leader of Hell's Army. Now, I will say, I don't remember any of that from when I was a kid. Like, I did really enjoy this movie as a kid, but like, I don't remember. Like, when it came time to sit down and watch this, I was like, so that's what happened. I didn't remember that. I remembered like the special effects. I remember the cape. I remembered the bike. I remembered a lot of the fight sequences. I did not remember like the first 25 minutes of this movie at all. Like, none of that was familiar to me at all.
I'll be honest with you, I don't remember any of it. I watched it one time. Well, no, I've watched it twice now. I watched it when it first came out. I didn't go to the cinema, so I don't know if I watched it first came out, but I watched it not long after it came out.
I saw it at the Dollar Theater.
That says a lot. Right, okay. So before this movie, do you have any linkages to the character of Spawn? Comics, games, cartoons?
Before the movie, probably not. I spent a lot of time playing the Super NES Spawn game, and I still remember the sound effects from that game when you would use the cape. No, I don't have my NES anymore.
That's a shame.
It is long gone. But yeah, I used to play that game a lot. It was fun. I loved being able to beat up bad guys with the cape. That was always really cool. But I had never read the comics or anything.
So I've never read the main book of Spawn. I used to remember in the comic shop I first went into when I was like 14, they used to have Spawn 1 on the back wall for ages. So I read a couple of issues of they've had loads of spin-offs over the years, but I read the first, I think it was like 4 issues of Curse of Spawn, which was a spin-off. I'll be honest with you, I don't remember it. I remember it being horrible, but not like horrible, like terrible or anything like that. Just horrible because Spawn, let's be honest, isn't particularly, it's not a pleasant.
Yeah, it's not an upbeat character.
Yeah, no, it's not. Like, even the world itself, like, just everything is just horrible. Like, it's not like watching a Spider-Man movie.
Exactly.
When I say Spider-Man movie, someone who's got family and laughs and jokes and
there's no humor. Like, this whole world is just like humorless. It's dark. Everything is bad. It's awful. Like, there's no hope.
I mean, I mean, I guess they tend to have humor with the character of clown, but anyway, yeah, that's kind of it, really. I'm not overly. I don't. I think Spawn's appeared on a couple of variant covers of other Image comics I might have picked up over the years, but I'll be honest with you. Unlike last week, where we have a lot of connection with the Joker, this week I don't really have any affinity to him. No, there's nothing that makes me go, "Oh my god, Spawn's it now! I've got to get it." Like, and I know, I've seen a big rise in sort of other people that I follow online, like obviously Robbie and a few other Bad Batch people. Read a lot of the Spawn comics. They've launched a lot of spin-offs recently, like Scorch. I can't remember. Todd McFarlane's like kind of trying to create now like a mini Spawn shared universe. He's obviously seeing what's going on at Marvel, and he's probably jumping on
Everyone
the bandwagon.
has, yeah.
So he's creating sort of his own sort of Spawn shared universe. I've heard a lot of people saying a lot of those titles that come out are really good. Not read any. I think because I'll be honest, because I don't know that much about Spawn. You know, like we've had this conversation before, where like, you know, you could go pick up a random issue of Batman, and yes, okay, Batman's been going for over 80 years, and there's a lot that you wouldn't know. But because Batman is a character you've got a lot of familiarity with, you probably could pick up a random 5-6 issue story and work your way through it. Yeah. Even though you wouldn't know what happened maybe the previous 2 years, you could understand what was generally going on. With this, if I went and picked up a trade paperback or even like this month's issue of Spawn, I have no clue what's going on. Yeah. Nothing. Like, I know Spawn has created jumping on points because I'm aware they have created your jumping on point. I've stayed away from them because I just I don't know.
I think to me, well, it's a good medium for comics, but also like if you were to take this concept and update it with, you know, 2020s technology, I think it would come across much better. But that was one of the things that was really hard with this rewatch, is just that nothing about this film aged well. But I think that it is a great subject for film. I think if we actually do get this Jamie Foxx reboot that is supposed to be happening, that has been in development hell for years and years, I think it could be really great. And I think if they did that, that might be something that might want to spur people on to be like, yo, let me go back and see what I can figure out about this character. But like 1997 CGI, like, no.
Actually, I just thought about, sorry, it was about 2 or 3 years ago, they did a variant cover of Spawn for a character called Gunslinger, and I did buy that because I was like, that is a cool cover. So I have that, and I think Gunslinger's had his own title launch now. I haven't picked that up. I don't want to start buying a Spawn comic.
See, I didn't know. Every time I hear Gunslinger, I think about the books that Idris Elba movie was based on, the Gunslinger.
No, it's a Spawn Gunslinger character. But,
okay.
But anyway, I think in summary, me and you have familiarities fairly limited. Probably you've got a bit more if you played that NES game, but or Super Nintendo game. But I have never played a Spawn game either. I'm aware there's a cartoon.
Yes.
I have seen maybe about 30 seconds of it, but
I believe I watched the cartoon, but I spent way more time playing that video game. Way more time playing the video game.
I think you probably know a little bit more about Spawn than I do. So.
A tiny bit. Very, very tiny bit.
Okay. So sure, let's move on.
So, I mean, we touched on the CGI and how it doesn't hold up well, but again, 97 was a fantastic year for nerd movies. We had stuff like Con Air, Men in Black, Face Off, Batman and Robin, not so much, but Kiss the Girls, The Fifth Element, Scream 2. I mean, it was a good year. Like, there was so much other good stuff coming out in 97. Now, I will admit, as much as I love The Fifth Element, even that CGI does not hold up at all when you watch it today. I still love the movie. I watch The Fifth Element on a regular basis. But like, there are so many times where it's like you can see the dummies during the explosion because they are not moving, like when everything is exploding around them. And I'm like, you have those dummies glued to the ground, and that's why they're not moving.
Yeah, I was gonna say, after I watched the movie, I was like, what else came out in '97? Because this is a really poor example of 1997.
But it fits the tone of 97. Like in 97, a lot of the films were like dark and moody. And I think that this Spawn film captures that vibe really well of like the dark and moody. Even Batman and Robin tried to be dark and moody. And it was like, this is terrible. Like, this is a terrible representation of it. But like, I think that it's very indicative of the times. A lot of films were like that. Kiss the Girls is one of those films. It's like, it's a great film, but like it is so dark and heavy when you watch it. But like that's that, I don't know. To me, that the fact that Spawn came out in the same year that all of these other films that we just talked about did, like, it makes sense to me. Like it definitely seems like it fits with the times.
With the times, but it doesn't hold up to those movies.
Doesn't hold up.
Like Men in Black as well came out that year, which we've talked about as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we loved the first Men in Black. Scream 2, we both love. Fifth Element, we both love. Kiss the Girls, I love. Batman and Robin,
Nobody loves Batman and Robin.
Some people love Batman and Robin. I am not one of those people.
I would like to meet a person who loves Batman Forever, maybe, but
my wife loves Batman and Robin. Yeah.
I want to talk to her. Go wake her up, Mark. I have questions.
She obviously prefers the Chris Nolan movies. But
well, yeah. I mean,
but she doesn't. I think, to be honest with you, this is actually Batman and Robin is like a family kind of film. So, Face Off though,
so awful, but so good. Part of that Nick Cage trifecta of The Rock, Con Air, and Face Off.
I saw a meme the other day of loads of pictures of Nicolas Cage from like, I don't know, 1990 all the way to 2023. And it had like a picture for every year, every other year. And then in 1997, they had a picture of John Travolta. I was like, that's good. So, yeah.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so I think it was kind of good to kind of reflect on what else came out in 97.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted to know where I felt this fit in. It didn't fit in well.
Yeah, I mean,
the tone.
Yeah, tonally, that's it. That's the only real like reason that it fits in with these films. But like the only good CGI in this entire film is when the necroplasm mask comes on. Like the way that they do the mask, that is cool. And actually, I think the cape, I do love the cape. I think the cape is really cool. But everything else, especially all of the sequences in hell.
I was going to say, let's move in nicely because I felt like you're going there nicely into summarizing our thoughts of the movie. you go first, as I feel like we're going there. But,
oh, man. I remember liking this movie when I was younger, for sure. It was a topic of conversation. Me and all of my friends in middle school, we talked about this film all the time. We loved it as kids, but like rewatching it now, I was just like, oh, this is terrible. Like everything about this is terrible. The plot is terrible. The dialogue is terrible. The CGI, like it did not age well. It was just like bad. And it made me think like, I know it's not a video game movie, but it made me think like, this is why video game movies get such a bad rap. Like it's because of stuff like this. Like people think back to Spawn was a video game and Spawn is a movie, and like this just doesn't translate. And it's like, no, but no, like, it doesn't have to be. So it was very hard to watch this film this time around. That's for sure.
In terms of my summary, honestly, I might probably have to say this is the worst film I've ever seen.
Finally, something worse than Mortal Kombat for you.
No, I actually thought about that. I actually think this is Mom. If I was to compare, Mortal Kombat is like a 5. Like,
I'm laughing because for those of you that have not listened to our Mortal Kombat episode, Mark rated it a 1. So for him to say that compared to Spawn, Mortal Kombat is a 5, that is awful. Like that means Spawn is like hell. Like Spawn is like in the bottom of hell.
So, okay, so I don't think I've talked about this movie with anyone, like ever. I don't know. I don't even know people that have watched this film. Like I can't even, I literally can't even remember. Like a lot of the time, you vaguely, even like Men in Black, I remember where I watched that. I remember the first Men in Black, I watched that at the cinema in
Mhm.
Bognor Regis. Loads of family members went. There's loads of us, about 10 of us went. Like loads of friends went. Loads of my parents' friends went. A whole load of us went and saw Men in Black. Same year. Like, I'm just trying to give you that context. The same year went and saw that. The Fifth Element. I'm telling you, we went to National Cinema Day. Like the cinema was rammed. Like I'm telling you, there's people. I don't even know how they allowed this to happen. They let people sit in the aisles. Like the cinema was just like trying to pack as many people in there as they could without worrying about fire safety. Like the Fifth Element was rammed. But Spawn, I can't remember. I don't remember where I watched it. I don't remember who I was with. I don't remember any of it. I don't even remember what it was about. Well, I knew. Sorry, I don't remember the storyline, but I obviously know what it's about. I literally remember nothing of it. So when I put it on the other day, I've actually put it on twice through just because of this review. The first one more in the background just to remind myself. But yeah, like it's just a really, really bad film. And it's not even like, okay, it's aged badly. Yeah, it has. Like the
Yeah.
script is awful, the acting is awful, the CGI is awful. Just everything is awful. But it's not, like I say, the Fifth Element, I think, has aged well. A lot of the movies that we've highlighted, even Batman and Robin, I would happily watch through again. This film is just so bad, like on so many levels. I
Oh,
just can't
poor Spawn.
understand how. I don't even understand. Like, I don't know how it even got made. Really, like, it's just.
It was the times. It was a
Well,
product of the
yeah.
times.
Like,
And
I
that's
just,
probably why the reboot has been in development hell for as long as it has been. Because a
I
lot of
made
other
it.
people probably think like that movie was fucking awful. Like, why would you ever make another one?
Yeah, I would imagine that if I was considering remaking Spawn, I'd probably. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but I'd want to probably put it in the hands of somebody so trustworthy, like Christopher Nolan, like someone that you could really trust, like who had a real good track record with movies.
Mm-hmm.
Not maybe. Oh, do you know who they should give this to? I've gone blank on his name.
What did he
Uh,
direct?
Reservoir Dogs, what's it? Dust
Oh,
Dawn.
Tarantino?
Yeah, honestly, give
No,
Spawn to like Tarantino or
no,
something.
don't. I
Like,
I am so
like,
sick of Tarantino dealing with black characters. No, I
oh,
vote no.
like, oh no, but like, just it would be, yeah, but okay, but it would still be a better film with Tarantino. I tell you, like, so it just, I don't know. What they should do if they hand it over, don't let Todd McFarlane near it. Nothing wrong with Todd McFarlane, but just try to keep the separation between the comic books and the movies.
Yeah.
And
If they took it serious and if
yeah,
Jamie Foxx stays like connected to it, they should actually give it to Michael Mann. Because Michael Mann and Jamie Foxx work very well together. They did Collateral Damage or Collateral, and then Miami Vice. Like, I think he could pull something really good out of Jamie for that one. If they go serious, like if they take some of the campiness out of it. But if you're gonna go campy, I think they can give it to like Colin Trevorrow. I say that because I just watched Jurassic World Dominion for the first time like the other night on Amazon.
I think, sorry, to come back in summary, I didn't enjoy this movie. There's nothing about it that sort of appeals to me. I think the story is really flat. Characterization is poor. The acting is so cheesy. Oh, do you know? I think the best way to sum this up is like it's like one of those really cheesy B movie things that Pam Anderson used to be in.
Yes, it's like barbed wire.
Yeah. It's literally like barbed wire. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I only saw that once, and I don't recall what it was about at all.
No one does.
But I'll be honest, this is probably on par with barbed wire. This is so. I don't know. It's just there. Like, it's just barbed wire. It should be barbed wire and Spawn should be in a shared universe. So, like, that's the kind of thing I feel.
See,
about
this
it,
is why nobody calls us like that. Y'all, we are speaking too real, and you guys just don't want to hear it. But like, we let us help you make your Hollywood film, please.
I mean, this wouldn't be Hollywood. Like this, like maybe if Mexico made their own Hollywood.
My god.
Like, I no, this should not. Yeah, I'll be honest with you.
Well, if you think that everything was so awful, did you even have any favorite characters?
Yeah, this is a really difficult one. So it was a nice transition there, Jasmine.
Where I'm working on my
Like,
segue skills.
yeah, I'll be honest, not really. Like,
Oh,
it's a
I did.
real
I like
struggle.
Spawn. I mean,
I mean, Spawn, yeah, maybe we could give Spawn my favorite character role. I mean, there's a bit of redemption there, I guess. Like, it was a real
I don't think
hardship.
I've ever seen you this like blah about a film before.
Honestly, like, so the redemption part was really forced upon him.
Oh, of course.
If there had been no trigger connected to Martin Sheen's heart, he would have killed him.
Yeah.
That redemption was completely forced on him.
But he used his Spawn vision and took the thing off the heart.
I mean, that was just so made
That
up
was
as they went along.
that happened, and I was like,
He never used that skill at all before. It reminds me of Wonder Woman 84 when she gets, oh, by the way, I can make things invisible.
Do not. Like, we're not having any kind of Wonder Woman conversation here.
But that's exactly like what happened.
Yeah,
it's
it's so
you've
awful.
never had that. You've never had that ability.
Where did that come from?
Ability. There's no build up to that ability. It's not like you used it earlier in the alleyway with the kid, like, oh, look what I can do here. All of a sudden, he's got X-ray vision and can suddenly use that X-ray.
But like X-ray vision to like dig into someone's body and pull a pacemaker off of their heart.
I mean, so that's what I mean. The terrible writing that there was no build up to it. I remember, is it Kiss the Girls? I can't remember what it was now, but they'd made a transition earlier. Something, I think, was it ice skating or something like that, where they made a reference to her being able to. I can't remember what it was, but they made a reference to her being able to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like half an hour later in the movie, she goes and does it. Mm-hmm. I was like, see, clever writing. They set it up so the audience wasn't like, oh my god, she can do that.
Yeah,
like, this is exactly that thing with Spawn. It's like, I don't know. I would probably, if anyone, Spawn, my favorite character in this movie. It was a real hard pick, but Spawn. I mean,
you say it's a hard pick. I say it's an easy pick because like no one else is just anyone worth unless you're talking about the damn dog, Sparky, Spanky, Spunky, whatever the dog's name was.
I mean, do you know, even the sort of Wonder, very flat in terms of.
My God, she was awful, and it made me wonder. Like, so Teresa Randall, she was in from my memory, I remember seeing her in Beverly Hills Cop 3. And I think I saw that before Spawn. I think that came out before 97. But like in all of the movies that she was in at this time, because she was super popular, she always plays this same flat, like all she ever does is smile. Like is like everybody puts her in these films and then all she does is smile. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing in this movie? Yeah, no, the wife had like zero personality. The little kid had way more personality than the wife, the best friend, and Spawn.
Oh, do you know what? I've actually pulled up her IMDb. She was in all 3 Bad Boys. I forgot that. She was the wife, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's Martin's wife, I think.
Yeah, Martin's wife. Yeah. She's not had a great career. Actually, she's in very little. Space Jam. The Bad Boys movies.
I did love Space Jam, though. I'm not gonna lie. I even like the Space Jam remake.
2 movies. The Hunt for Eagle 1. What are they games? I don't know what they are. Anyway, yeah, she's not exactly done a great deal. So yeah, like she, but when she does show up, she is basically the same character.
Yeah, so, she's very flat in just about everything she does.
So yeah, you could tell I wasn't overly enamored by it. So Spawn, actually, I love his costume. It's fucking amazing. Like how it morphs and moves. It's very much like Witchblade, which came out at the same time from Image Comics. So Witchblade, her outfit morphs, yet strangely enough, only seems to morph around just enough of her body, to make it sellable. Spawn, however,
to make it TV rated, yes.
Spawn, however, does wrap around it. One of the cool things I thought was when Spawn was falling down the building and his hand turns into like a suction, like an octopus thing. And that I thought was cool because he was like, oh, what the heck? He didn't realize he could do that. So I was like, oh, cool. Like his body seemed to morph and react to his surroundings. So I thought that was cool. And also the suit kind of wrapped itself like a shell around his bike as well.
Yes, I love that. I do. I love the cape. The cape was great. Like if I could rate the film just on the cape, it's a 5. Like the cape, and especially at the very end, like the last scene of the film where he's like standing on the top of the building and the cape is just like billowing out behind him. Oh, so great.
So yeah, I think definitely the suit is amazing. I
think that's the only thing that we like. Everything else like could go, right? Like
yeah.
what like one of our questions is always like, what would you cut or change? The list is too long. The list is way too long.
So yeah, it's like you say, transition here. So the structure of the movie, I mean,
there isn't one at all.
Well, it's a very
U.S. Marine gets betrayed by his boss, goes to hell, and is sent back from hell because now I don't know. Like that's where I get lost. I'm like, so you made a deal with the devil to come back to Earth to see your wife, but then you decide you don't want to go back to hell. I'm confused.
I mean, to be honest, a lot of it is Marine betrayed by, his superiors is a very common plot thread. Obviously, the whole going to hell and coming back thing, that's not done that often, but you do see, there are films where you do see people come
But do you know what's really funny about that to me? Like after I watched this movie, I went and I looked up Spawn just to get like a history of Spawn. And it was like his father was a door-to-door salesman and his mother was a devil worshiper. And I was like, what the fuck? Honestly, like, what the hell kind of description is that? Like, oh, his dad had a job and he was a salesman. He wasn't there very much. Oh, his mom was a devil worshiper. Like, okay.
I mean, okay, so
as one does.
It's terrible. It was terribly written. There's no character development. You've obviously told me more about his background than I knew from the film. I definitely think they could have.
Well, he loved his wife. We knew that.
Yeah. Okay. So we knew he loved his wife. But, and that was actually his main driving thread was wonder. There's no real development for anyone.
No.
I think a lot of it was signposted as they went along, like Clown. It was so obvious that he was going to betray. Jason Wynn, Martin Sheen's character. It was so obvious. He's like, oh, you just need to do this. You're my best pal, whatever. And then when he throws in the idea of getting the pacemaker implant thing, I was like, oh my god, it's so obvious. He's like, and then Martin Sheen's like, yeah, what a great idea. Like, no, it isn't. It's like, what? Like, why would anyone who represents the devil honestly tell you something that is good for you? Like,
right, exactly. Let's think about this.
Any agent of the devil, including the devil, then they're not showing up for your well-being.
Nope.
Like their interest is theirs alone.
They ain't trying to keep you alive, man. They're trying to eat that soul.
So, and whilst they might be giving you, I don't know, 5, 10, 20 years of like good fortune, there's a payoff for them.
Yeah.
So, like that Jason Wynn is so blinded by obviously greed, where I guess that is his character. He's greedy. So,
I will say though, for characters, I think as poorly as everything was written, John Leguizamo actually put his foot into this character. Like he played that clown so well. Like
he was definitely the best actor in this movie.
Yeah, he put everything. He did not phone it in like everybody else did. Like he put everything he had into that character.
The reason I didn't want to pick, so I actually have to agree with you. The acting from him was a standout. The reason I don't want to say he's like a favorite character is because I think Clown is disgusting.
Yeah.
So like the eating of worms or maggots around pizza and just all of his fart jokes.
Oh god.
I'm just not down with anything about Clown at all. And also, how blind are the family that Clown is at a family party making jokes about hookers? I'm just like.
Yeah, that whole birthday sequence, I was like, truly, who on earth? Like, if I was having a birthday party for a kid and my husband was like, oh yeah, I hired a clown, and I saw that dude walk in, I'd be like, no, the hell you didn't. Not that guy. He ain't coming in here. Like, what the hell?
So if I was to cut or change anything, I mean, pretty much I would never have commissioned this movie. But that having said, I think if we were to go back to 1997, I think a better take on this potentially could have been to have done it animated.
Because the cartoon wasn't this bad.
Yeah, I think if they were to make an animated movie, but like an animated movie, kind of, it would have to be strong animation though, like something a bit like Invincible now. I don't know if they could have done that back then, but a strong animated movie, or that they, I don't know, like even with New Line, they made Blade, and they made Blade well. So how could they have made?
Well, I mean, the CGI does get a bit questionable, even in Blade.
No,
But
the
Blade is
story's
better
strong.
written.
Yeah, the story's a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Maybe what they could have done with Spawn is maybe to try to think longer term, and maybe try to ground the first movie of Spawn. That's potentially what they could have tried to do. Maybe they obviously would have had to show him come back from hell, but maybe we could have pushed that deal to down the road, like a potential sequel. Like maybe, so obviously they see him come back 5 years later, so maybe they could have pushed that, maybe made that more of a mystery. He doesn't know how he came back, and maybe at the end of the movie there's a teaser for this deal, and then maybe show him just going up against Martin Sheen's character in this movie, and that could have been the end game.
Yeah.
So I don't know, something like that might have been a bit better, but I don't know. It would have taken a lot to have saved this movie. So
I think a lot of it could have been helped. It just like with better writers. Like if you had put the script in someone else's hands, like I think it could have, because I don't know, if you give it to someone who is actually trying to tell a story, not someone who is a fan of the character, I think they probably would have been able to tell a better story.
Or like, do you know what might be cool? Is, it's just only come to me now. So I don't know that much about Spawn, but I do know the odd Spawn character. And you know how, like with Uncharted, they were struggling to make Uncharted until they saw, I think it was until Sony saw Tom Holland and Spider-Man. So they decided to go down the sort of earlier route. Now I know there's other versions of Spawn, like Medieval Spawn, and I don't know anything about Medieval Spawn. But actually, maybe something like that could have been cool to have taken that approach. But like maybe like an earlier version of the character in Spawn.
Okay. I mean, I think they couldn't decide if they wanted to tell like a classic. I would consider this a detective story, even though he's not a cop. Like it's still one of the, like, the military guy that gets wronged, that dies, and then is resurrected. It's like, it's a classic. I used to be a good guy and you turned me into a bad guy, but you know what? I'm not going to be a bad guy anymore either. I'm going to go back to being a good guy. And it's just like, been there, done that. Like pick a thing, like pick something and let him be one or the other. Like, why do we have to go through the whole arc? Like, what would have been so bad about a bad Spawn?
So I looked it up. Medieval Spawn was both a knight and a hell spawn for the medieval era of 16th century England. So he showed up in a crossover with Witchblade. It says the invasion of elven world of fairy, a time portal open, thrusting medieval Spawn out into the. Oh, okay. Oh, so there's a crossover. Yeah, Top Cow universe. Okay, that must be something separate. Okay, like I said, I didn't know enough about medieval Spawn, but what I do know is that he's 16th century England. That could have been cool, like, maybe to not show. You could almost have had like a trilogy of or separate franchises, like a trilogy of medieval Spawn or something like that. I don't know. Like, I just think this movie's awful, and they just should never have made it. So
it is pretty bad in hindsight. Even it is way worse than I remember it to be. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so let's just move in, summarize our thoughts a bit. Okay, so I didn't enjoy this movie. This is one of those few movies where honestly there's not even really that much about it that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
Mostly comic book movies, there's something about it that I enjoy. So, being a comic book fan for quite a long period of my life, and there's always something in a comic book movie that I find appealing. There isn't really that much.
Not this time, huh?
Yeah, no, not really. And I think, unfortunately, the acting is just really bad. I mean, the action isn't even that great. Like the CGI isn't that great. The plot is just so loose. It's just, I don't know. It's just not strong enough. There's nothing really to drive the plot forward. The only person who really pushes the plot forward is Clown. Clown is and unfortunately, that probably is the thing. Whilst he's not my favorite character, he probably is the best character in this film.
Yeah.
Right, so, in terms of ratings, I mean, I've never given. Can I give a 0?
Yes.
I mean, that would be my. This is my first 0. Like,
I don't think it would be my first 0. But I'm giving it. I'm gonna go a 1. And that's being super like I still love the cape. I think the cape is fantastic. They put all of their CGI money into the cape and none of it into anything else. So I still really love the cape. All of the sequence where he crashes that ballroom party, like standing on the building at the end of the film, love the cape. So the cape is what gets this movie the 1.
You know, sometimes like we joke about not joke, sorry, that's not, no, we don't joke. Sometimes we say, oh, how we would have rated it in 97 and how we would rate it now. Like, I think my rating would have applied. Maybe I might have given it a 1 in 97.
I think in 97, I probably would have given this a 3.
I think maybe I would have given it a 1, but I don't ever remember enjoying this film. So
see, I do. I mean, I remember maybe not necessarily enjoying the film per se so much, but I definitely remember enjoying all of the conversations we had about the film.
See, that's where something can change, like about a film, is your involvement with the people you're in. Where there's a movie that we're going to cover one day. I won't say what it is, but it's a really bad film, but I watched it with like, say, 7 or 8 people, had some beers, we had a right laugh. It was a film that was never made to be a comedy, but actually is a comedy because it's that bad.
Yeah.
But we just had such a laugh watching it. And like I said, I'm not going to say what it is because we will review it.
I know what it is.
Yeah, you know what it is. But that made that event of that movie so memorable. But yeah, it's annoying. It's annoying to me that I just don't recall even where or what I did when I watched it. So yeah, which says a lot about the movie, though, I think. So yeah.
I remember, like you said, I remember the experience of watching Spawn and then talking about it with my friends. That's why I remembered it to be better than it actually was. Like watching it again, I'm like, oh God, this is just really bad.
Anyway, we'll stop there. Let us know what you think. There's loads of opportunity to let us know. Twitter, Instagram, which is actually something I was going to say in a minute. But anyway, so next episode we'll be reviewing Jonah Hex, the movie, which I have never seen.
Really?
Okay, no, I watched like the first 20 minutes and then I think I just never went back to it. So
I mean, that says a lot, but I can't imagine this next time being any different.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that we've lined up 2 bad films in a row.
I wasn't gonna say it, like I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, Jonah Hex.
I mean, I don't know if Megan Fox has ever been in anything good.
She was good in what is that movie where she plays Jennifer's Body. She's good in that.
I've never seen that.
That is definitely not something to watch with your kids.
Yeah, I would imagine she is good in New Girl. I've said this before. She was good in New Girl when she was in it. But anyway, let's not talk about Megan Fox now. Next episode, we'll be reviewing Jonah Fox. You can follow us on social media. Jonah Hex. Sorry, fuck me. Jonah Hex. Should have called it Jonah Fox.
Who is Jonah Fox?
Jonah Fox. Megan Fox's brother or sister or something. I don't know. Anyway, Jonah Hex.
Yes. Yes, we're taking it to DC. We're going to be talking about Jonah Hex. Oh man,
it's gone on too long now.
So
follow us on social media: Geeks and Nation, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Go on there.
And you can get this podcast wherever you get your podcasts: Google, Podbean, Apple, Spotify. We are everywhere. Please leave us a 5-star review and tell your geeky friends.
Thank you very much. Cheers for listening. Appreciate it. Sorry, I've fluffed up the end there.
It's all good. Good journey.
Indeed. Bye.